And I'm back with another newbie chaplain mistake. All right, so today we're going to talk about enmeshment. Turn to your neighbor and say, don't get enmeshed, okay? Now, enmeshment is a very fancy way of saying that you get tangled up in a family system and their emotions. Your boundaries get very blurred in situations, but as opposed to speaking, therapists speak to you about it. Why don't I just give an example? Okay. So this example was, there was this particular family that I felt very close to. Very much so, similar family dynamic to my own family. Like the daughter, who was a primary caregiver, and the POA was the eldest of 6 children. I'm the eldest of 6 children. They were African American. We kind of grew up in the same neighborhood. So there was like this kinship that was formed pretty quickly because we had a lot of similar experiences. Even though we know that no race of people from a certain side of town or anything is a monolith, there was a lot of commonality with me and this family. And so it turned out every time I was on shift, I would be checking in with that family. And it was great because they would just light up when they see me. They're like, oh, Chaplain Leslie's here. Oh my goodness, so glad you're here. And they would say to the patient, Mom, look who's here. And she was so weak, but she would smile, tilt her head, probably not because I just brought her joy, but because the family came alive. And as a good mother, you smile when your babies smile, right? So, it sounds like that's not a problem, right? Like that's not a big deal. It sounds like, oh, there's a nice bond there. There's a nice pastoral relationship. Well, the problem became, after a while, this person was a long haul person. And if I was off and another chaplain attempted to visit this family, they would look at them like they had 4 heads. They'd be like, who are you? And where's Leslie? Tip number 1, if nobody else can minister to that family but you, there's probably some enmeshment happening, right? So they wouldn't see anybody. Matter of fact, they would just be like, okay, thank you for stopping by. You can let Leslie know when she's back that we'd be happy to see her. Like they would just dismiss them, okay? But here's what was happening on my side. Come real close, because it's a secret. I would low-key be thinking about that family when I wasn't on shift. They were taking up a lot of my brain and spiritual space. Now, I am the type of chaplain that I do pray for my patients. When it's a part of my regular devotion, I pray for my patients. But this was a little different. I found myself wondering who else had seen them that day, wondering about their symptoms and how they were feeling that day, and just a little bit too much concern. And when you are enmeshed with a family, it becomes problematic for the family as well as you. Because it's really like a blurring of boundaries. And you don't know where their emotions end and where your emotions begin. And that, my dear chaplain, is not chaplaincy. We should maintain a professional distance from our patients. Now, don't take that as you need to be cold, because I've seen that too. I've seen people walk into the room with this air about them and this stiffness about them. And, hi, I'm the chaplain. And do you have any spiritual needs, spiritual and emotional needs that I can help you with? What? Are we at a 5-star restaurant? What are you asking me, chaplain? So I'm not telling you to be stoic, but I am saying that you need to be careful that there is some professional distance there. Because here's the harmful part of it, where it could actually work against the patient. When there is something that they are really going through, but now that they see you as a part of their family system, they don't feel comfortable telling you that because it might upset you. It might get you concerned because they now see you as another sister, as opposed to the person who's supposed to be the spiritual professional who they can speak to freely. Now you're just another member of the family. And because they see you that way, they can't get the spiritual care that they need. They can't say the things they need to say. And so we don't want to put our patients in that position. And you don't want to burn out either by taking on every family that you feel connected to. So here's the last thing I'm going to leave. Before I became a chaplain, many of you know this already, I was a leadership coach for female entrepreneurs. And one of the things that they threw around a lot is that I'm an empath. I'm an empath, meaning that they can feel other people's emotions deeply. If you are an empath, you might want to think about if chaplaincy is right for you, because you are around such high emotions all the time that you don't want to become a sponge for that, because you won't have any energy for yourself, your family, and even the patients you serve, because you have to have solid boundaries. You have to be able to say, this is theirs and this is for them to carry. I may have shared this in another video, because for me, I have a ritual that helps to remind me to separate myself from that family. And so at the end of every visit, especially emotionally charged visits, I can't say every visit, I should say especially emotionally charged visits, I will not just go and use the hand sanitizer to wash my hands. I will literally go to the sink in that patient's room, use some soap, wash my hands as a sign to myself that I am leaving this situation in this room, and I'm also leaving this family in the hands of God. They don't need me, right? I'm here, but they don't need me. They will be okay. And there's such freedom in that. And so I would encourage you very early on to come up with a ritual. How are you going to separate yourself from those families? If you have some rituals that you do that are different than mine, drop them in the comments. We're here to learn from each other as we build this community. With that being said, my name is Leslie. I am creating the videos that I wish existed when I first was discerning becoming a chaplain. Like, follow, comment, share, friends. And here's what I'm also thinking about doing, because I've had a couple of people ask over the past couple of weeks about contacting me personally. And I guess YouTube doesn't have a DM feature. Who knew? I'm thinking about doing a live, y'all. So I'm thinking like one Friday afternoon, doing a live and just answering questions and having